say that when I was more, I don't know, it's hard to say there's ever a beginning of the journey, but, when I was starting to think more about body acceptance in my own life, I did also have a lot of external support. So I had a therapist and I had friends who were on the path, and that was also helpful when my body didn't feel like a source of wisdom or friendliness. Having other people on that path or as support was also a big part of just being able to stay with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, community is when you're choosing such a radical way of showing up for yourself, and we always tell people, within 30 minutes of walking out of our office building, you'll get a message that you're crazy for choosing this be nice path.
Yeah. I mean, no one in my kind of personal life, family, old friends was on this path. That was a new community that I sort of cultivated over time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's true for so many people, where you're like looking around and your coworkers are, standing by their desks talking about their latest diet, and you're just like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. But that deep knowing is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, really why we started this Body Trust Network, is to give people some community, because we know that healing, this being part of a group really helps with the healing, knowing that you're not alone when you feel like a fish swimming upstream,
right? Mm-hmm.
Or like when you talk to people about this and they look at you like you're speaking a foreign language.
Right. Yep.
Well, that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, what do you mean by work? And
right. Yeah.
So
the isolation, even though this path is so healing, the isolation can be so triggering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know it's been so transformative for me just to hear from other people who've been on the path longer than I have, that going away and coming back is part of it. That there are still things that will trigger, even if you think that's not going to happen anymore, or you thought you healed that particular one or whatever. Mm-hmm. For me, that's been very healing to just be like, okay, I can just be in the process. Mm-hmm. And not feel like, oh, now I failed body acceptance, over. And have felt that way many times at the beginning, and eventually did make my way back. But
yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's this expectation that we just kind of check it off the list, like,
right, I know,
doing that acceptance thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or you just end up in that, it doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so many of your words remind me of how much this work is really about building a relationship with yourself over time.